Welcome to WION World of Cricket. I'm Isha Hanspal. 177 all out against South Africa's 311 for the loss of 7 wickets. About Team Australia, one cannot even say that they were a shadow of their former self. We have not formally seen them like this. Well, not at least in the ICC ODI World Cups. The most successful men in the World Cup last got eliminated in the group stages in the 1983 World Cup. After that drubbing, they got at the hands of the Proteas. The question we are asking today is, have Australia set themselves up for an early exit? Dav Whatmore and Nikhil Mathur with me in the studio. Dav, first I come to you. Have they set themselves up for an early exit from the tournament?
Well, with 2 losses out of 2 games, you'd have to say they're pointing in the wrong direction. So the answer to your question is yes. But they'll have to turn it around very soon. But you know, there must be a lot of worrying signs.
Also, the way they are losing these matches, I think that's what's perhaps more worrying than the actual.
The what?
Also, the way that they are losing.
The way the way they're playing their cricket was just. It was just a horrible game all over. Really, they were beaten in all facets of the game today, and it was very sad to see a very unusual Australian team. The way they went about it. You know, I'm just trying to get any sort of positives, but I just can't do it. I mean, it was a very sad to see them drop those catches, and the way they responded with the bat. There was just no fight at all.
And we saw the tail just trying to stay at the crease just so that they do not lose by such a huge margin. They just wanted to get some runs on board so that, you know, the net run rate is not so poor. Definitely a lack of commitment there towards the game, Nikhil. What do you think? Have they set themselves up for an early exit?
Yeah, because
too soon to say?
I mean, it's still too soon to say, but they face Sri Lanka and Pakistan, so 2 tough games coming up, and you know, they don't have any momentum. And Dav summed it up really well. You know, there were hardly any positives from this, and they dropped 7 catches. I mean, they weren't there in the batting, they didn't turn up for the fielding, and the bowling was also abysmal to say the least. And you see the scorecard, I mean, there's no start to it.
Yeah.
As you said, they just batted for the net run rate to not drop
terribly.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a very un-Australian-like performance.
And Nikhil, the guy that you'd think is just there to support the bowlers was their best bowler. The guy who was there to be your spearhead in the spinning department, Isha, is struggling. You know, and that's not a good sign, because their speed attack is okay, but they can be knocked around the odd game as well. But you need that support from, you know, your main spinner, and sadly he's out of nick a little bit. It's not coming out of the fingers very well. As
a coach, what do you say is the broad problem here? You know, these are a talented bunch of sportsmen. What do you think is the overall, because they definitely do not look like the Australian team we're used to seeing. What is the problem here?
What I see is it's a lack of confidence, maybe a slow build-up of certain things over time, recent times, but they need to feel freer in their mind, no question. You know, it appears as though they've got some baggage in their mind, and they're just second guessing as well. And I saw a graphic where where they met the ball with the bat was a lot closer to the popping crease, the batting crease, than what South Africans were. So they're a little bit timid in hanging back. You know, that's a reflection of just not having the confidence to attack the bowling. So, you know, they're going to have a decent review. I'm fairly sure of that. But, you know, I think they need to come up with solutions rather than anything else. And really, they're not going to lose their skill in a day or 2 or a week or whatever. They just need to get their mindset right.
Also, this lack in confidence is not something one is used to seeing Australia have. You know, they've always bounced back for every little upset that they've faced. What do you think is the reason here for this slightly longish, you know, dampener in their confidence levels?
Every team has it, no matter, you know, how good a team is. Every now and again, you'll get a period where, you know, you question yourself. A couple of bad performances individually will be contagious, and then 3 or 4, then more will play badly, and all of a sudden you've got a horrible game like this one. So it is a confidence thing, and really what they have to do is to repair their confidence. Just get back to, enjoying yourself a bit more. It's not an easy thing to fix, but you've got to fix it.
What do you think was one catastrophe that Australia made today?
I mean, I wish I could point to one thing that went catastrophic for them, but it was everything. I think the fielding, the bowling, the batting. And I think if they are knocked out early in this World Cup, I think they will look at the catches. The first, that they dropped Virat Kohli in the first match, and then the 7 catches that they dropped in this match. And as Dav pointed out, I've never seen an Aussie side which is not high on confidence, especially at World Cup. You know, being an Indian cricket team supporter when we were growing up in the 2000s, and India would be in a good commanding position, but the attitude that the Aussies would have, they would just come back and win it, and that was clearly lacking. And as Dav pointed out, they were not committed to the shot. They were on the back foot constantly and not playing the ball, on its merit, and they were just too defensive. And as we see in the points table, which is there on the broadcast, I think they are on the 9th position, just above Afghanistan due to 2 losses, and their NRR is -1.85. So even if they are in the mix at the end of this tournament, I think it's going to be very difficult for them to qualify.
Yeah,
they got to win. They just got to win for the rest of the tournament, which is not beyond them, but it's a very difficult task, Isha.
Always been the team that one hated to love. Such has been their aggression and their the level of confidence that they displayed on the cricketing field. They go up against 2 heavyweights next. What lessons do they take from here on? I know lots of departments to work on.
I think for a start, they just need to get back to the basics. Just do the basics. Don't get carried away or overthink situations. Just length, direction, maybe even those the variations can hang on for a little bit. Just repeat good balls and let's see, right? That's number one. Secondly, they need to just up their fielding. Now, a lot of those catches, Nikhil, if they had that in practice, they'd catch 10 out of 10. They would. Some of those were dollies. So it's not a case of, they're not good at fielding. It's a mindset. So it just needs a little bit of trust, a little bit of self-understanding that you are, you are what you are. They're a good fielding team. But it's played in the mind. So they need to just do the basics. Relax, do the basics, trust themselves. And with the bat, they just got to do a little bit of hard work. I'm not suggesting today was easy, tonight. You got, as I said, there's some good bowlers in that South African team. They just got to do the basic. And they started to do it. But then once 1 out, 2 became 3. They kept almost like leave it to the next one, leave it to the next one, leave it. All of a sudden, you're 4 or 5 down. It just.
Labuschagne and Stark held fort for some time.
Yeah, they were very defensively. They had no choice. They had to repair a little bit of damage and just play very cautiously, just to repair something. But that's never going to win a game. But at least they had some sort of occupation of the crease for a while.
This victory that the Proteas have clinched, would you say that was a function of their opposition playing the way that they did? Or would you have another review of their innings?
No, I'd say, full credit to South Africa. And I'm seeing and I'm learning a little bit about this team. And what I see, like everyone else, you like what you see. And this team, that's come a little bit under the radar. They haven't come with expectations of we got a team good enough to win the World Cup. They got a team that's fighters. They look like they're playing for each other. And they have got some skill level, and they have got some depth, and they have got a good bowling attack. So keep your head, keep doing the basics, trust your teammates, trust your instinct. Go and enjoy it.
I'm sure social media is abuzz.
It's buzzing with comments. Guys, keep your comments coming. We'll take all of them. Radhika says, weird to see the Proteas convincingly beating Australia like this, especially in a World Cup. That's what we have been discussing. Surj says, guys, let's make South Africa our second favourite to win the World Cup 2023.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you, on the evidence so far, I think they've surprised quite a few.
Yeah.
And they look like they can travel the distance. I think they'll be alive at the end of this tournament.
A few more. Yash Agarwal says, haven't seen Australia down and out so badly and early in a cricket match in recent years. Something special by South African bowling attack.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. It's a very potent attack, and bowling under lights. If you lose those early wickets, it's going to be difficult to chase. Yes, there was due, so they need to consider, what they do next game, because Australia stays at that venue. They play, I can't remember, whoever it is, next at the same venue, so they'll need to sort out a few things. It wouldn't have been easy holding that ball either, but because they lost a lot of wickets, it became not that difficult.
A very interesting suggestion coming in. Gursharan says, I would like to see Carey opening and Marsh dropped in the next match. Smith to lead if possible and Abbott to play in place of Cummins. I'm sure Australia will make it to the finals, but this was really embarrassing for them and us as fans, but it will teach a lot.
Yeah, look, the normal feeling is to change the team. The team was changed today. I think you need to be a little careful. You need to take a bit of time and think things over.
So you would not go with that combination?
No, rushing. I mean, that suggestion was another wicket keeper to come in and open the batting. Well, I'm not sure whether. I don't think so. Maybe Marnus Labuschagne could open the batting, and then you play Alex Carey as well. But look, I don't think changing wholesale is going to help anything. What will help is a change of mindset, and to somehow or other to repair that confidence and go and enjoy the game. Winning and losing is part of the game, but you don't lose like this.
Yep. Dean says, your team is messed up when Glenn Maxwell is the best bowler and Mitchell Starc is the second top scorer of the day.
There you go. We sort of alluded to that at the start. But very well put, eh? That was a reflection of exactly the way they were today. Well done.
Do we have? We conducted a few polls as well, and.
Dav, I want to look at the first poll that we put out.
Okay.
It said, what was Australia's weakness or weak link? Bowling, batting, fielding, all of the above.
Oh, well, definitely. I'll put fielding right up there because clearly they should have restricted that opposition to less than 300. Their batting came second and their bowling third.
And our viewers said all of the above. They said bowling, batting, fielding, all of the above. 52.5% say all of the above, 25.4% for batting, 13.6% for fielding, and 8.5% for bowling.
Very forgettable performance today, that's for sure.
What's really interesting to watch here is though India and Australia clashes have been termed as the second most
rivalry. There's a bit of rivalry there, isn't there?
Pinnacle rivalry there. But then quite a few Australia supporters here from India as well, because they do not like to see Australia like this. They don't like to see Australia playing like this, even if it's against South Africa and not India in this particular game. Another very interesting question. This one comes in from John, and he asks, how big a win is this for South Africa?
It's big. It's big. It's one of the bigger wins when you play Australia and you humble them in the way in which they did it. That will give them even more confidence. So the danger there is now thinking, we can beat anyone. But if they can keep a lid on it and just put it in perspective, and every game is different. Most of the venues, unless you're playing in the same venue twice, is different. And you all start on naught for naught. So you have to remind yourself all those things and go and enjoy the game. They are really flying high.
Isha, on that optimistic note, I just saw one comment by Parth, who is still optimistic.
Yeah.
He says, it seems like Australia hasn't arrived yet for the World Cup. Going forward, what I feel is they are going to storm in and just dominate the opposition. Do you see a comeback? Because Australia always does come back. But is that too harsh of a beating to come back from?
Look, they'll come back. I mean, I don't know whether they're going to win 7 in a row, though, or even 6 to qualify. It's going to be tough for them to do that, but there will be teams that, when they turn up as opponents, 1 or 2 of them, won't be on top of their game either.
Yeah.
They'll, we're playing Australia, gee, that happens a bit too. So I'm expecting them to win some games, but to qualify now is going to be pretty hard. They have to get over this lack of confidence.
Yeah. Interesting one coming in from Joy. He's obviously an Team India fan. He says, looks like South Africa have taken tips from India on how to not finish the tails quickly.
Not finish the
tail quickly.
Cheeky one there.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one coming in from Apu Salamanca. And he says, Australia won't make it to the semis. Mitchell Marsh needs a fast pitch like the Wacker. I don't remember the last time when Warner and Smith hit a 50 in ODIs. Travis Head better than Labuschagne, who is English, by the way. Their entire batting is weak, not a good sign for Indian conditions. Yeah, that's harsh.
That's a sledge.
Yes.
Few sledges there. Mitch Marsh opening, he did some good batting performances leading up to the World Cup. No question, he prefers a ball that comes on, a wicket that comes on, because he's essentially down the ground player, but can also play the pull shot. They put themselves under pressure, they're going to have to seriously, look for solutions, understand what the attributes are, and find solutions. Don't be too emotional about it. Get the solutions and just work on it, and then and enjoy it.
You've said that multiple times. However, Jack asks, is the playing 11 an issue for the mighty Aussies, or is it the template?
Look, it's not the playing 11. They're good players. There's no. They're not a bad team. They're just not playing well at the moment. That's the key. They have to find a solution to turn this around.
And do you think Travis Head, who's still in Australia, he hasn't arrived in India?
Yeah.
Can he? But how much of a difference can he make when a team performs like this? A lot of our viewers are commenting. Travis Head can be that.
Lots of votes for Travis Head.
It's very unusual, though, isn't it? Even the other teams brought their injured players, knowing that they're going to be fit in a week or 2 after the World Cup starts. This guy's still back there.
Yeah.
To me, that's a little strange. Maybe, he's getting some good match practice, but everyone needs to know, including the number one people is the team needs to know he's ready to come.
Yeah.
If not, get somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as Isha pointed out, that they definitely needed a spinner in our mid-innings chat.
Yeah.
They could have got Sangha, someone else who could have bowled a few overs. And, Travis Head, Australia might not make it to the semi-finals. What's the point of Travis Head getting in fit and then coming towards the latter part of the tournament when Australia are already out of the tournament?
It's too late. Yeah, it's too late.
Okay, well, certainly. Okay, I'm going to take one final disheartening comment from Carol, who asks, has Australia lost their cricketing sheen? She's gone as far as saying that. Have Australia lost their cricketing sheen?
Sheen. Today they did. No question. They weren't shining today, I can tell you,
The fact that everyone's asking that question, this has definitely been in the offing for a while, and then that's why we're even asking today, can they even make it to the next stage of the tournament?
It's going to be tough to do that, like you're playing in these conditions, and as you said, the next 2 games are subcontinent teams.
Yeah.
Not easy to beat them, And you got Sri Lanka, who have lost both, but they've scored 300 twice. Once chasing and one batting first.
Yeah.
It's not easy, man, I tell you.
Especially on this wicket, one could have posted those runs up. Yes, South Africa going into the second innings did have an upper hand, but then one did not expect this, did we?
No, and look, to be honest, also South Africa got a little bit lucky. You know, some of the balls hit in the air fell into vacant area or went over the top of the keeper. That happens every now and again, but not so many times as it happened today. You know, so that's fine. Everybody, you know, gets a bit of luck, and you make your luck to a certain degree. Good luck to them. But overall, though, they just lacked any sort of ability to, you know, to turn things around and just do the basics right.
Tomorrow is another day. Hopefully the teams learn their lessons going forward, and we'll be here throughout the World Cup on WION World of Cricket. This is Isha signing off, along with Mr. Dav Whatmore and Mr. Nikhil Mathur, who is with us on the sports desk here at WION. We'll be joining you guys again tomorrow. Stay tuned.